that I haven't listened to you, you know what I'm saying, explain your interpretation of, you know what I'm saying, the Matrix movie. Because that's what we all based this on. Because none of us knew about this information until after we had watched the Matrix movie. So I think that this is a good introduction to read about on the Matrix movie because he gave a good, you know what I'm saying, background about the stories and the plot lines in the movie. And
Okay.
it's very
What
interesting.
I am talking about right now
It's the book right here, y'all.
is a
Matrix Warrior.
programming that we have. The programming that we have is to not value anything that is not recorded, documented, um, basically that's it, by someone else. And so we put all, and it's meant to be. It's like this is a part of our programming. We are meant to block what's in our face, to ignore the truth directly in your face. We pass by people distress because we will not look at them and read them to know that they're in distress. And we've been programmed to keep our eyes down. And so I'd have been kicked out of my male friends' houses more than once based on what I'm getting ready to say. And that's how I know it's a very sore spot. But it's a sore spot that you've been programmed to have sore. It's a way of keeping you away. It's a barbed wired fence. So if anyone comes and comes close to this subject or come close to this truth, you sting them. You bite them, you shut them down, you cuss them out, you tell them they crazy, you saying it's not important. What you are saying is less important than who is in this book. Why is the person who wrote a book experience considered superior than your neighbors or than your own? It's our programming. And so I was discussing the Matrix Warrior, being the one by Jake Horsley with my good friend Apollo. And when I start to say my perspective, he shuts it down because it's not Jake Horsley's perspective. But I'm the Julianne Star. I have a perspective that is valuable just as much as his. He saw the Matrix. He has theories on the Matrix, what it means, the details, all of that, and so do I. But we will not give each other the time of day to discuss something from our perspective. We are taught that the other person's perspective is of no value if it is not documented. Your heart doesn't count unless you have some type of medal of honor. Your mind doesn't count unless you have some type of degree. Your thoughts do not count unless they're written in a book and published. That's very important to this matrix that you think that.
No.
They need you to follow the yellow brick road. You pay for gas, education, publishing, everything when you do it their way. To get that stamp of approval, you got to go catch the wicked witch to get the stamp of approval. And when you had the shit the whole time. And we have it ourselves the whole time. We are the creators. It's our ideas that's been taken. A lot of times it's some of my ideas could be in that book. Not saying he copied from me, but saying that it could have been heard by me. before he wrote it down. Just certain things, because truth doesn't just go to the person who got the publishing deal. Truth is in that person before they ever wrote it down. So that means while he was talking to his friends, they would say, what the hell are you talking about? Who are you? But until you say, okay, let me put it in the screen on a book and write it down so someone can even listen to me. We do not, while our friends are talking, you interrupt them every minute.
How y'all doing? I want to say this right here.
You interrupt them every minute.
I appreciate everything that Mrs. Julianne Starr is saying about this book right here, The Matrix Warrior. But I just wanted to say this, it's not required, mandatory reading, that this book is the end all be all. Because here it even says on the back, this book has not been authorized, licensed, approved, or endorsed by Warner Brothers or anyone else involved in the creation, production, or distribution of the Matrix movie. So she doesn't have to listen to this advice or nobody else, but I find this book to be very informative about the Matrix because it does answer the question, what if everything in the Matrix movie is absolutely true? And so this is just a philosophical treatise on that question. That's all it is.
Okay, so we were getting into AI, and my perspective of what AI really is. And he is saying if it's not subject to what this says AI is, then it's invalid. You know what I'm saying? I have my own experience. I have my own book inside of me about the Matrix. And just because it has not been published doesn't mean that it's not there and real and valid. I saw the Matrix too. And a lot. And I've evolved my ideas of the Matrix over the years. But what I feel artificial intelligence is when you substitute the solution of a computer over your intelligence, your natural intelligence. And so we are the artificial intelligence when we choose to do that. We are the energies that support artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence cannot be sustained without natural reality. There's a real 3D world that the artificial intelligence cannot survive without natural intelligence. There's a natural world that exists, that artificial intelligence that was created by man, that is created by a natural man. A natural man cannot escape his restrictions to nature. He can dream about it, but in reality, he will always be on the ground one way or another. Whether he put a bed, a chair, a fence, or whatever, there's the ground there, and he's subject to it. And anything that he creates is subject to this ground and must respect the rules, regulations, laws of this ground. Which means when he creates a rocket, he got to start at the ground. When he builds a skyscraper, he has to start at the ground, one way or another. Natural man is restricted by nature. That's our limitations. We cannot get out of that. That, if you want to say what Matrix is, the Matrix would really be, if you said this, the super Matrix. The super Matrix is that we cannot escape our natural selves. We still, no matter what, we're still peeing, shitting, eating, drinking, sexing, making babies, um, um, and everything else. It's going to happen. That's what we're bound to this earth. We're bound to the rules and regulations of gravity and things like that. If you say, hey, well, no, he's go to the rock, send a rocket. That rocket got to land somewhere. If you say, I can't go, I can send a rocket. That rocket got to come back to you somewhere. And you're on the ground somewhere. So artificial intelligence cannot escape the restrictions of naturalness and of nature, which means a computer, for example, cannot deal with the sun. So you need someone to protect the computer from the sun.
Not our community simulation, though.
But the simulation is somewhere under the sun. That's what I'm trying to say.
That part.
The simulation is on this earth. So it's bound to the rules and restrictions of the earth and of nature. So what they getting us to think is that, like, if you say, gigabytes and all of that, that's unlimited, right? But gigabytes are inside of a computer. It's inside of something physical. Everything is assessed through something physical in this 3D.
So what are you saying?
So that means that the computer needs our physical selves in nature to be able to operate. The computer cannot operate outside of nature, and it doesn't know how to. It can't get itself out the sun. It can't make sure it don't get wet. It can, listen. It can't. Not without us. Without the nature, the natural.
So, if I can show you a video of a machine that could dig a hole in the ground and hide from the sun, then you can say it's real.
But could you show me how did that machine get there?
Program.
By who?
By man.
Right.
Program.
So it's based on man's mentality, and
so what happened in the movie The Matrix?
So
programmed by man, became self-autonomous, and then
this
put man
is what
in
I'm
slavery.
trying to talk to you about. You can't.
Put man in slavery.
Do you know, as far as self-autonomous is concerned,
Baby.
a computer. Okay, and this is the other part. This is so deep, and I don't expect a Matrix warrior to understand it yet. Okay, you're a Matrix warrior. Okay, you can't understand this shit. But I'm gonna say it because we're recording and whatever. Like when we look at a dog or a cat or anything, we put our perspective on it. Humans, what did they used to call it? Like when you take a artificial object and you put your feelings on it. I mean, not an artificial object, an object that's not human, but you put human feelings on it. It's a term. Whatever. I don't know. But if you say, no, that's not the term I'm looking for. But the whole thing is, you are putting your perspective on it. That thing doesn't think what you're thinking it thinks. You hear me? So if I go like this, let me look at that tree, and the tree about to get blown down, and I say, oh, that tree feel like it about to get knocked down, or that tree feeling fucked up right now. That tree ain't feeling fucked up right now. That's me, my mindset, saying what the tree feel. As human beings, we would say that artificial intelligence would automatically want to be human, because our idea of power is a human idea. This idea of that you that your natural inclination as a computer would be that you would resent and rebel against your creator, and all of that comes from a human idea. Why the chairs ain't do this yet? We cut down trees, we put the chairs there. We've been sitting on. Wait, listen, we sitting on it all the time.
A different subject though.
Listen,
because it's going away from the theme of the movie though.
This is what I'm trying to say.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not talking about the theme of the movie. I'm talking about the theme of AI. The idea, right? The idea. I'm going away from it because this is my perspective that don't have nothing to do with this. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. That I'm not within the confounds of this book. I am telling you where my understandings lie. That don't have nothing to do with somebody else's book. Maybe. So, if you understand, a computer does not. This is huge. If people don't. Oh, that's huge. A computer don't understand shit, y'all. A computer don't understand our concepts. A computer does not care. A computer isn't going to say, fuck this shit. I'm tired of being a slave. We say that. That's what humans say. We're saying if we were a computer, we'll be tired of this shit. You got to do everything somebody say. Then if you make things like robots that you put heads on things and arms and legs on a computer and say, let me see, it seems like it's so real. Whatever a human being focuses on becomes real. So we're sitting up there saying, okay, my scooter. We'll turn our scooter and name our scooter and make it, this my scooter. My cars, always name my cars. This Major. This Max. This whoever. That's me. Putting my energy on this car. And my mindset and I named it. That's what human beings do, name shit. We label everything. When we label it, we believe we're giving it life. It had life before we even labeled it. Honestly, a computer is like any other object we have created. Power comes from us and what we give it. It's a tool that we use. How we use it is up to us. It's because it came from us, which means it's inferior than nature. Because we came from nature. So we cannot create something that can take over nature. We can't. Nature will whip your ass. You try to do something too much, you trying to burn the earth here, well, I'll flood the earth here. If you try to flood the earth here, then I'll make a big whole earthquake it. Whatever you're trying to do, you will fail when it comes to the earth. The computers, which are our creation, cannot supersede the earth. It cannot. We cannot destroy nature. Nature will kill us first.
Right. That's the question though. The question is,
AI does not exist.
The question is,
but in our mind. We are AI. what I was trying to say earlier, ASI is when the cop arrests you based on no intelligence from his own understanding, from his own morals, values, his mama, what she taught him, his religion, any intelligence of his own programming or his own environment and observation is overwritten by paper intelligence, digital intelligence. So the computer says, pick up warrant for someone's arrest, 8376 license plate, this and that, driver's license D543721139, social, blah blah blah. Go pick this person up. When you go pick up that person without using your own intelligence, you are being the tool of an artificial intelligence. So what artificial intelligence really is in this matrix is predetermined laws that does not require your intelligence, because your intelligence is not needed, because it already says pick that nigga up. You don't have to say, well, what did he do? Oh, well, they said that he missed his court date. So you're going to actually put him in a jail cell because he missed his court date and he called and he wrote a letter letting you know why, that he actually, this what happened? Yeah, you don't need to think about all that. You just take the person and put him in a cage. That was artificial intelligence telling you to do that. Artificial intelligence is law.
Baby.
It's the law.
Baby, that's not the question though. The question is,
and you following it without using your own intelligence.
It's everything in the movie that makes you.
And so that's what we're doing.
That's all it is, baby.
So artificial intelligence means when the digits are 3 cents off and you put $1.97 and the person, I mean, the thing costs $2.03, the person only got $2. You see, they're trying to buy some water. You can use artificial intelligence to deny that person that water for 3 cents. You can use your natural intelligence to say, let me give this person their water for 3 cents. I'll cover that 3 cents before the day over with as a cashier. As an insurance agent, the artificial intelligence is all the insurance laws and regulations that is not necessarily the best for you or your client. So then you say, okay, this person mailed in their check, but that check did not get here by time, but it was a holiday, but the computers, they cancel their policy as one day, and you know that these people been paying for years and all that. You know them. They've been your client for years. You can say, based on artificial intelligence, the previous rules and regulations written down as a solution for this situation is to cancel their policy and deny them all coverage. But your natural intelligence would tell you that you want to keep them as your customer. You'll do way better to keep them as your customer because it is one mistake. You have the choice to decide to process the payment that was one day late that you wasn't really going to process until the next day anyway, because you were out when that payment came in the day before. So you were going to process it and put a different date on it based on the laws of the insurance computer. So you process it with the day before date when you couldn't have processed it before because you were out? Or do you process it with the day after date knowing they will lose their policy and everything that they ever put into your company and with you? One is artificial intelligence making a decision, and the other one is natural intelligence. You have been asked to ignore your natural intelligence and accept artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, oh my God, this is very controversial, is books. Because it's put in these two squares, we automatically think you're an expert and respect it. We accept your intelligence over ours. So, one, the idea of artificial intelligence without us don't exist. That's why Neo said they need us too. That's what they realized. Okay, the machines need us. But how we've been dependent on the machines, we need them. So let's work together. That's the reality of it. But reality is we don't need these machines at all. We've been around hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years without these machines. We don't need them. They make our lives comfortable. But we are their creator. They need us to operate. They need somebody to protect them from the sun. They need somebody to create them. And they need somebody to turn them on and off and maintain them. So that's one. They can't do this shit without us. So if a machine say, look, I need some arms because I want to start taking over the world, you're not going to build a machine no arms. The machine needs you to build it some arms or put it in a position to build itself some arms. It needs to be able to move. And we're what's moving. We pick up the computer and take it over here. You take so Bill Gates and everybody who's doing their shit, they doing it. It's the people doing it. The people turn on the computer, creating it, putting the programming in it. The computer ain't programming itself. The other part of this is language. What language is. This is deep, y'all. Y'all have to understand. This is deep. The computer don't know what the fuck we talking about. The computer do not speak our language. It don't feel what the fuck we feel. It don't care about power. If they say, okay, well, the computer gonna become conscious, why? If it did become conscious, you're thinking that a computer would think like you.
That ain't true, bro.
That's what we're thinking. We're thinking that a computer would become conscious and say, I want to take over the world. I'm tired of my people being devastated. And a computer ain't thinking that. A computer don't feel.
AI feels artificial intelligence.
It don't.
It do.
It doesn't.
It's autonomous. That's what artificial intelligence is.
It doesn't feel.
Matter of fact, definitely. Matter of fact,
So
you know
right
my
now,
definition.
like this. If I write in the computer, y'all don't understand this. This deep, y'all. If I write in the computer, my goal is not to let the computers take over and become artificial intelligence and to the point of for humanity, I am going to do whatever I need to destroy all computers. And I start right now. The computer don't know what the fuck I just said. The computer don't know. The computer don't understand language like you do. We are putting in LOVE. The computer don't know what love means.
Can I ask you a question?
We put in LIK. It don't know what like mean. Hate.
Can I ask you a question?
Ignorance. Intelligence. It don't know what none of that means.
Teacher, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. My question is everything in the Matrix the movie true? That's my question. If it's not true, then we don't have to have this session.
A part of my view, yes, it is true.
Okay. So if
But
it is true,
how someone else
that's
interprets it is
dealing
different.
with then. That's all I'm saying.
How somebody else interprets it is another story. But what I'm getting back to, it's a difference between a computer that memorizes the dictionary and a spelling bee genius who understands what that dictionary means and what the words mean. The computer don't know what they mean. They have a definition. The computer say, okay, septuagenarian. Okay, it means blah 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 blah, but it don't really know that it means a senior that has reached 70s. Okay, it doesn't know what a senior is. It doesn't know what 70s is. It just took down the so it's sort of like saying that if a camera took over the world, the camera, how the camera works is taking images and imprinting images. It ain't doing nothing. It's just being. And as the images that come on the camera, it doesn't care about. It has no emotions or feelings toward, okay, that was pornography versus that was angel. The images that you see when you look at a picture are interpreted by you. The camera has nothing to do with it. That's the artificial intelligence. It has nothing to do with it. And it will not seek justice. Your camera will see a knee on the neck. It can see a knee on the neck or a bird on your shoulder. It don't give a fuck. We've been tricked to think that these computers will give a fuck. They will not. It's us. Deflection. Part of being in a matrix is for you not to know.
Turn around, but you made a mistake. But anyway, it's
for you not to know that they throw the rock and then hide their hands and say he did it over there. They're going to say it's the computers doing it. It ain't the computers. It's somebody. Someone who is upholding laws that is beneficial to their side of this shit. This person is usually, these people are invisible because they are hiding in plain sight. You are working for them. If you have to deal with instructions and orders telling you how to handle people and things on a regular basis, and you don't know where that instructions or orders are coming from or who they are, that you are working for the artificial intelligence. You are excluding your own intelligence.
It's not a question. The artificial intelligence is real. That's where you have chatbots, okay?
Artificial intelligence is not real.
Artificial intelligence is real.
The machine has no intelligence of its own.
Let's ask Google.
It has no intelligence of its own.
We gonna ask
all Google is doing, for example,
all
Google is doing is putting.
We gonna ask Google if artificial intelligence is real.
The words Google when you say
is artificial intelligence real?
Google
right there.
All Google is matching is symbols.
Yep, it's real.
It doesn't understand what you're asking it.
It's real.
It's somebody that has already programmed Google to know what you're talking about when you say these symbols, but Google don't know what you're talking about.
Even Google is artificial intelligence. So what are you talking about?
Google doesn't
Google
know what you're talking about.
Yes, it does. Google AI, artificial intelligence.
Google doesn't know what you're talking about. Google is a program that when you say certain words, it matches those other words
Google's
with other
baby.
written programs so they can pull up that were written by human beings. So artificial intelligence is a program created by human beings. The computer has no feelings and does not understand anything we're talking about. It does not have any desire to conquer the world. It's an object we made that responds back and forth using codes of 1 and 0, 0 and 1, 1 and 0s. All the computer is reacting to the codes of 1s and 0s. It does not know what intelligence, salvation, understanding, slavery, oppression, anything means. So the machine in the Matrix, if I understand the Matrix to be true, the machine in the Matrix is operated by man with an agenda. And if these computers ever get some consciousness, it's just their consciousness acting out what they want on mankind. They're maintaining these computers. We're maintaining these computers, polishing them, updating them, programming them. They cannot do none of this shit by themselves. They don't have say, I want the programming of world domination. They don't care about a program. That's what we want. That's our personification on an artificial being. AI is real, but it's man. Is man hiding behind a computer? Like the Wizard of Oz, which is the first Matrix, showing you that this is man. All this is man. So yes, we're going to be concerned, one day the computer's going to wake up and decide to take over Earth. No. Man wakes up and decides to take over Earth. He been did that. And he's been doing it with artificial intelligence before a computer ever was thought of. It's the law. Artificial intelligence is predetermined laws where you do not have to think. So mandatory life terms, that's artificial intelligence. That came from somebody who is a man, human being, who says, I want to be able to benefit from this person's crime that I've created and said is a crime automatically. I don't need your intelligence. I have my intelligence already locked into the law to say this is what happens to this person without your heart being included, without your mind, your spirit, your higher self. You don't even have to worry about it. You just got to press a button. He did this the third time. Boom, boom. You go to jail for life. That's artificial intelligence. Okay? We're the real intelligence.
Of course, I don't want to argue that. That's not the argument, though.
Our fear is that the real intelligence will be superseded by a computer. Do you understand that every computer program that you ever purchased, buy, operate, use has been programmed by some human being.
We already in the program now.
Has been programmed by a human being.
We already in the program now.
That's it.
We already in the program.
It's a human being creating artificial intelligence.
This is the Matrix.
Okay. When it says we fight not against flesh and blood, we don't fight against chips.
We in the Matrix now, baby.
We're not fighting against machines. There's operators of these machines, programmers of these machines, architects. And they blame it on the machine. The machine, when on the Matrix 3, when the machines was drilling down to kill Zion, all those machines, soon as Neo went up and negotiated with the head Matrix B, the machines stopped. The machines didn't care whether they was killing humans or not. The machines was taking orders. They just was drilling down on their way to kill the humans. It didn't make a difference whether it was drilling down to prepare kill humans, to have a beach.
Well, that's not true.
They didn't care. The machines didn't care.
They put humans as, I'm saying, as a food source
That it wasn't personal for the machines. The
It was
machines did not
personal.
care.
It was personal.
They
It
didn't.
was
The machines
personal.
didn't have feelings. They had a program.
It was. Mankind was looked at as a germ on the planet.
But
so they say, okay, well,
in reality, in this 3D, know how the machines look like?
We're gonna solve the problem.
Know what machines look like?
I put them in the homostasis.
This is what the machines look like in real life. The machines look like people because they're people who are submitting to artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So, like when you are a soldier,
humatons.
and when you're a soldier, and you go kill that village of people who never said anything about your mama because someone told you to over a voice radio or written down or whatever, that you have not even, they're telling you to do it for a reason that has nothing to do with you and your personal life. And it has something to do with them and their ideas, and you don't know the real reason behind it. And you're taught not to question it. That's a computer, that's a robot, that's a machine. You become a machine for the Matrix when you execute laws without your natural intelligence included. That's what artificial intelligence is. That's what the machine is. So the powers that be use your body to put people under martial law.
Martial.
So when they send people out for martial law, they're sending out machines. Why? Because these machines are people who have subjected their natural intelligence to the intelligence of a law that is not man. That's what artificial intelligence is. It's us submitting our natural intelligence to law. So that's what we're supposed to be fixing.
Fixing what?
If we're going to fix anything, we have to get to the Wizard of Oz. Because he's the one who's creating the artificial intelligence and he's sick. We got to get to the Wizard of Oz. Instead of thinking that it's something else. It's nobody but a man behind the curtain. You have no artificial, it's like, you know what, back in the day, people would say, okay, the demons took our children. And people would laugh at them and say, demons, when we look back on history and say demons, what we're actually going to say is we're scared in this part of history. We're scared of computers waking up and taking over the world. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? But we say it and we believe it because we've been programmed to believe it. We're the computers that have been programmed. And you can choose your life as a computer program, doing what someone else is saying that you know not who, or your own natural intelligence. We are talking fairy tale shit. And we believe this shit because yes, we're spiritual. We understand that we're human beings having we're spiritual beings having a human experience. But wake up. A computer is not gonna do this. It's the same motherfuckers who been doing it, who gonna keep doing it, and they can hide behind a computer, behind religions, behind weather. They hide behind everything but the truth. Computers ain't gonna wake over and do shit. It's us. You can be taken by the law, or you can understand that you are the law. It's up to us. And that's my perspective on artificial intelligence in this matrix.